As a Scrum Master, what are the different teams you have worked with and what are their composition? Welcome to the Scrum Chat Room with Dr. Francis Mbunya. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. For returning viewers, make sure you're liking, you're dropping that comment. It helps us to stand out and it also helps people like you find the video. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment. This is a very tricky question. And this question, it's something that is being asked to validate your technical aspect. It's not a technical question. It wants to validate how technical or how I'll say Scrum technical, right? Because it involves you understanding a bit of team composition, which is a bit different from what you will learn from your normal Scrum class. This you can only know if you've been in a more practical environment. So it's a more practical question, not a technical question. So how can you answer this question in an interview? Now, when they talk about your team structure or your team composition, they don't want you to say, oh, you know what, I have a team members. One of them was located in Ohio, another in Mexico, another in India. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about team composition in Scrum. We're talking about team composition based on the project you are working on. I'm going to give you a different environment and the possible composition and the different rules you can find them in that environment. Now, let's start with a typical what everyone else will go with. Let's start with a software team. Right. With a software team, you are going to have your developers, front end developers and back end developers. You also have full stack developer. A full stack developer is someone who can work either on the front end or on the back end. Now you also have your UX UI, which are user interface and user experience design. These are also part of your software development team. You also obviously have your QA, right? And then you have also your DevOps engineer. You might also have a data engineer in some of the team. Optional data engineer is optional in the software development team. You also have the BA. Some of the team may have BA, business analyst. So for a software team, we have front-end engineers, back-end engineers. You might have full-stack engineer. You have the UI, UX design. You have your DevOps engineer. You have your QA, quality analyst, right, or tester, if you want to call it that way. And then you also have the business analyst and the data engineer. They are potential members of your software team. Now, if you want to talk about the team size, pick something between 9 and maximum 12, right? 9 and maximum 12. You can never be wrong within that range. But there are also teams that can go beyond that. Now, let's look at our infrastructure team. Let's assume that you work in an infrastructure team. Infrastructure team, what are the team composition for an infrastructure team? Infrastructure team, you will have a data base administrator, you will have a system architect, you have a QA, you have your system security engineer, you have your DevOps and cloud engineer as well, and then you have your network engineer. When we talk about infrastructure, now think about an organization setting up a system that will help them to do business, right? This is a system, and infrastructure is a system. I'll give you an example. If you go to a pizza shop, what do you buy? You buy a pizza. But then for them to serve you that pizza, they need what? They need infrastructure, the things that they are preparing, the ovens and everything that they use in order to prepare the result or to prepare the output. So when we talk about infrastructure, we're talking about the system that a company will normally use in order to deliver a business to their client. For us to build, for instance, softwares, we need to do what? We need to have infrastructure in place that can enable us do the work. And I will also want to talk about if you work in a cloud environment, if you work in a cloud environment, let's say you're doing data migration from, let's say, on-prem to DynamoDB, on-prem to Amazon Cloud, If you're doing data migration, what you will need, you definitely need a DBA, database administrator. You will need a QA, that is a must to check the quality of the data. You need a data engineer as well. You need a data analyst. You will need also a developer if we need to do some build-in server builds or really customize. You will need a developer, and then a developer can also be your build engineer, right? So one of the things you need to master in your interview, don't just say, oh, I supported two teams. What were the type of the team and who are the potential members of those team? You need to understand that. That is why if you need to get more good at what you do and to stop doing try and error, to have a team that will support you get that job in less than no time, send me a text, Dr. Francis. I really, really need your help and I want to be able to land a job in less than no time. Join our 6 months program. It's 6 months because we don't want to rush you out. We want to make sure we're holding you. We want to make sure that we assign you to a mentor. We want to make sure that we put you to when you get the result. If that is you, reach out and I will be able to support you through this period. Get that job in less than no time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in my next video.